Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as of yesterday, 3:30 a.m., I've completely removed myself from a situation that has taught me a lot and has prepared me for my journey moving forward from this point on. So as I'm not going to get too much into details on what happened or why it happened or how it's happening, but I will give some detail for context so that way you understand where I'm at and how I got here. So as of last August, my son and I moved to Phoenix, Arizona to take part in opening up outpatient treatment centers to help people to get off the street, get off drugs, mental health issues, drug abuse issues, whatever the case may be, right? We had about 45 patients at peak. We ran 5 homes where we housed anywhere up to 8 patients, or 8 members, I should say, 8 members at a time in each facility. We had a couple of vans for transportation, 16 passenger vans, where we take them back and forth and to food banks and to job interviews and to museums and to parks and activities. We ran cooking classes. It was pretty good operation, excuse me. Long story short, it got shut down. The insurance companies that we dealt with who pay our billing pretty much put a pause on our business. We went through audits. We gave them everything they provided. Actually, right now to this day, it's still open. They just pretty much stopped payment and have yet to give us a reason or activate the funds that they froze. So they bled us dry, right? We kept the program running for about 3 or 4 months without being paid, and it just tapped us all the way out. It's not the first time either. Last year this happened again, or before, with another insurance company. I'm not going to mention insurance company names because I want this video just to get out, and I'm not really pressed on all of that stuff. What I really want to focus on is what it has done for me, right? So we really immersed ourselves. Year and some change, like I said, last August, my son and I moved to Phoenix, became house managers. We moved into a 1-bedroom apartment in one of the units, in one of the houses, and we lived with members. We made sure they stayed square, and, you know, with that, people would fight and not be sober and all kinds of things, right? So, like, it was a very challenging job for my son and I, and the first time my son has ever experienced anything like that, right? So with that being said, it was challenging. We immersed ourselves, like literally immersed ourselves. Then about 5 months ago, when things started to kind of pick up and get on the ball, I decided to move my whole family to Arizona. So we left California, moved to Arizona, and now my whole family moved into this same house, which is a house for members. We cleared a little space for rooms for my wife and my daughter and my other son. And we lived there. We all lived in a member's home, one of our member homes, and really immersed ourselves. Like, we were in it. We were there every day in the grind, working 24/7, handling business, and they just stopped cutting checks. Let us dry. We ended up shutting down the office, laying off all of our employees, laying off our doctor. We tapped us all the way dry. I haven't been paid in forever. It's over 5 months I haven't been paid. And that was it. Like, we hung on for as long as we could hang on in hopes that Blue Cross Blue Shield would turn the water back on. But as of today, they still haven't said anything. Even, like, we even speak with lawyers and all of that good stuff, but it's just a fight we can't fight anymore. I can't fight anymore. So with that being said, what happens, right? Like, what happens to you physically and mentally and emotionally, right? It's tough, man. It's tough. Here I am with my entire family, whose life was pretty nice in California. Everybody was doing pretty well, lived the suburban life. Kids are straight A students. My daughter's senior year in high school is this year, and we moved her from her school that she grew up with. My son's last year in elementary was this year. We moved him from school, from what he was used to. and kind of immersed ourselves in some trauma. Not only trauma that affected our lives, but other people's trauma, right? And this was heavy to say the least. So when all of these things happen and the money starts dwindling, and like I'm laying in bed with my wife looking like, man, what do I got myself into? I owe people money, right? Like we had some very kind, beautiful people lend us money in the beginning or invest in the beginning. That all went sour, right? And it's just tough to swallow that this has actually happened, because, bro, I'm not a scammer. I'm not doing anything wrong. We're really helping. Like, I'm sitting with one-on-one, and I'm convincing these people that have like the most traumatic experiences that they're worth something, that they could move forward, that even though life is this difficult for them in the moment, that they can pull through and they could really change their lives and become who they want to be. And then now I'm in that situation, right? Like, as of yesterday, our time was up. The landlord let us kick it at that house for as long as he could, but then we had to go, you know? And I was in a situation where most people would be like, oh no, what am I gonna do? But for some reason I was given peace. Look, if I'm fearful, right? Like I'm a human. I have my doubts. I have my fears. I haven't slept in a very long time. Like, I get 2 hours on, 2 hours, 2 hours off, 2 hours on, 2 hours off, because my mind won't stop. Like, it's been running, trying to figure out what to do next, especially when all the deadlines were coming in, right? Like, now I have to move. Now I have no money. And I just had conversations with God, conversations with myself, and I convinced myself, while it doesn't feel good, and while I'm stressed out, and while I don't know what's next, and during a time where I'm holding my family together without much to give them, right? But positive affirmations and words and faith. And I'm having conversations with God, and I trust fully in what's going on, but I convinced myself of that, right? So, like, you even come to the point where, like, am I delusional? Am I convincing myself of this because I don't know no better? Or am I convincing myself of this because I truly believe in what I believe? So I put it in God's hands, right? This is the conversation me and God had. I said, look, I'm gonna put it in your hands. Obviously, this was taken away for a reason, right? This is how I rationalized it to myself. I did everything I could, man. I got certified. I live with the people. I'm with them daily. I'm working with them hard. Trying to provide. I'm providing more for them than I have for myself, all the way to the very end, and it still got taken away from me. So what does that mean? What does that mean to me, right? Like, man, you know, I could be laying in bed at night and be like, why is me? Or I could be like, why did this still get taken? Why am I moved out of the way? So it must be for a reason. It must be for a greater reason, because if I feel like I'm doing the right thing and I feel like I'm doing good for people, why did this happen anyway? Right? Okay, God, I'm going to play your game. I'm going to put it in your hands. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to trust fully, and I'm going to put it in your hands. See, I got a sign. God said, yo, do that. So that's what I did, right? That doesn't mean just sit back, kick your feet up, and let God do what God does, right? No, you still got to go for it, right? And you have to move in fear. So even though you're scared, you go forward anyway. Even though you don't know the outcome or even the goal, maybe, right? Because I don't even really know what's next. I do know to put one foot in front of the other, right? That's how you move forward. I got to take the first step. So that's what I did, right? And at the very end, with no money, right? And I'm not like asking nobody for nothing or anything. I'm really trying to figure it out. I figure out, okay, I got to get my stuff in storage, because my whole house that I have from 15 years in one house in Vacaville, California, is now in this house in Arizona, unpacked. We have not even unpacked our stuff because we didn't mean to live there. We were there while we were going to find a home and stuff, but we ended up staying there. So my whole house completely unpacked, is now in this place in Arizona. I have to find where to put it because like pretty soon we have to get out this house. Well, we have now. As of yesterday, I got out. I had to get out. So what am I gonna do? So I'm looking around for storage facilities. I'm looking around for Connexes to put it in. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I end up rustling up enough money to get a truck. I go to the U-Haul. The guy gives me an incredible discount on the truck. Boom. Okay, nice. I go to the storage unit. This guy named Thor, he's crazy, man. Like, his energy was so high, and I've been in such a dark place as of lately, just like in my own head mostly, because we were like literally trapped in this house. The house is dark. We don't have like gas to get around anywhere. We haven't been going anywhere much, and like I'm just trapped in this house in my own head, trying to control my emotions and how I'm thinking about what's happening. So when Thor is so light and so full of energy, he's just bubbly, like it felt good. It just felt good to be around that kind of person, around that kind of energy. He takes us to the unit. He shows us the biggest unit. We go back to the office. He does all this computer. He does what he got to do. And then he's like, okay, you're all squared away. You know, I was sharing with him a little bit why I'm getting a storage and what's going on. And I'm like, what do you mean? Here, you want my debit card? And he's like, nope, you're all squared away. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you just keep staying positive. You keep doing what you do, and it's going to be all right. I'm like, what? And I swear, I'll show you the receipt, all zeros. He didn't even charge me for the storage. Not only he didn't charge me for the storage, he gave us a lock for free, right? So that $300 I said, that might seem like a little to some people, but that was everything to me in the moment. Everything. And the lock too. So we get in the truck and I'm all excited. My youngest was with me and he's like, whoa, that was amazing. I'm like, I know, right? You see how that worked? So like now I'm not worried about storage and I got a couple of extra bucks. So then we pack up the storage, we fill it up, but I still have maybe a half a truck worth of stuff left. And Thor sees us on the camera, so we're leaving with the truck, and he pops out real quick like, hey, did you run out of room? And I'm like, yeah, I ran out of room. He's like, come in the office real quick. Yo, the man gives me another storage for free and another lock. Unbelievable. So like, in those moments, I take that and that's what I focus on, right? Those are the kind of things that I'm not worried about the woe is me. I'm worried about the move forward. I'm worried about what's in front of me and not so much what happened and what's behind me. So with that, we go. I'm coming back to California, right? I'm bringing my family to see my wife's parents. I may have to leave them here for a couple weeks while I go back to Arizona and figure out how to get a home or do whatever, right? Like, I have no income. I really don't know what's next, but what I do know is that I'm gifted, I'm talented, I'm eager, I'm resilient, right? So I'm not really worried about making money. I made money my whole life, right? I'm a grown-ass man. It's not like I can't make money. How I'm gonna do it, I'm not 100% sure on that part yet. Can I do it? I'm 100% sure I can. So we have a homie out there. He's like, yo, I'll come to Cali with you guys. I'll rent the van. I'm like, you gonna rent the van? I'll put the gas in it. He's like, all right, bet. So he rents the van. He comes to pick us up yesterday, the day before yesterday. He gets a phone call and like he has some kind of family emergency. His mom was ill or something like that. So he can't go. And I'm like, oh, it's cool, man. We'll figure it out. We'll find how to go. He's like, nah, man, take the van. You guys got it for as long as you need it on me. Like, what the heck? Are you serious? He's like, bro, I'm serious. Get your family out there, get your family safe, and I'll catch up with you when you get back. So now we got the free rental. Because of all the money I saved with the U-Hauls or whatever, I got the gas to get out here. So I hit the road 3:30 a.m. yesterday. By the way, I told you all of this yesterday morning, but as you saw in my little clip, no sound. So anyway, so I'm saying all this. Oh, and then we got, so I was babysitting a store for another guy. He lives in Vegas. He had a business and he was supposed to hook us up with a house. He had a house that was going to become vacant. And then in exchange for him doing that, he had a business that nobody was at, and I told him, look, I'll sit in the business since you're going to give us this store. I mean, since you're going to give us this house to live in, I'll take care of your business for you. We'll swap it out. I worked for him for about a week, never got the house, flaked completely, just ghosted us. But next door to there was a barber shop with a Jamaican dude also named Redman. I don't know, I have Redmans in my life, but Redman, and I'm chopping it up with him. He's from New York, and then he's like, yo, where you from? I'm like, Far Rockaway. He's like, no, you're not. I'm like, no, for real, I'm from Far Rockaway. He's like, no, you're not. I'm like, what do you mean, no, I'm not? So he calls his wife, and he's like, yo, where you at right now? She's like, I'm at home. He's like, yeah, but where's home? She was like, New York. He's like, where in New York? Far Rockaway. I'm like, what? Like, nobody ever says they're from Far Rockaway, maybe Queens, but not specifically Far Rockaway. So that's another sign for me, right? Like, I take all of these things and I put value to them. Whether you put value to it or not is up to you. I put value on all of these small wins, and I make that my evidence. I make that my proof of what's going on. Look, you guys see the sun rising behind me? Awesome. I chose this spot for this reason. This was my spot in Vacaville. If you guys ever followed my Instagram, this is where I would come to get pictures. I know my face is kind of dark right now, but I just definitely wanted to catch that happening. So back to the story. So I got cool with the guy next door. So even though the house didn't turn out, and even though I sat in that store, which I really wasn't working, I was kind of setting all of this up to like podcast and learning how to do this and stuff. So like I had time out of that house for a week to kind of prepare myself, and then have this mission instilled in my brain. Like, yo, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to document everything that I'm going through from the bottom to the top. Not for pity, not for anything like that. I don't want people to be worried about us. Like, yeah, technically I'm homeless right now, right? Like, as of yesterday, we moved out of a house and I don't have a house to go to, and I don't know where I'm gonna go to, right? Technically, but come on, people love me. I have family. My wife and kids will always be safe. I could leave them here in California if I need to stay with her parents, to stay with her parents. So thank you everybody who is concerned. And yes, this is a ugly spot I'm in. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next, but I am going to put one foot in front of the other, and I am going to document it. That's what I'm going to do next, right? Like, I'm going to focus all of my talents, skills, experiences on myself. I've made companies millions and millions and millions of dollars. I've worked for 3 cannabis companies as director of operations and chief operating officers, which my salaries were high. And I turned those companies into a few million to multi-million-dollar companies. Then after that, I left work, and me, a friend, and 2 other guys built our own cannabis company. 3.5 million we put into that project to build it. Who built it? I built it. Who ran it? I ran it. Who got played? I got played, right? So like, now this happened again. So like, I keep getting pushed out of the way of using up all of my skills and my talents and my intuition, my connection to the universe, right? I'm so insightful. The way these words come out of me. So yesterday when I did all of that for 45 minutes, I was chatting for 45 minutes and nothing, I didn't record anything. So for 1 second I was salty, like, arg. But then I'm like, you know what? It just flows. I don't have to worry. I didn't write any of these things down that I'm saying to you right now. No, it just comes to me. I'm connected that way. I'm gifted that way. And I'm going to use all of those things, my artistic skills, my communication skills, my experiences for me, for my family, to build us, to put 3.5 into us, to make us multi-million, right? Because every time I do it for somebody else, I end up getting pushed out the way for whatever reason, right? So sure, I have some messes to clean up. Sure, I'm gonna get back on my feet. Sure, I'm in a really bad part right now, but that's the best time to start. This is the best time to highlight while I'm down, while I'm all the way down, right? And how dare I ask for pity or feel a certain way when I'm sitting across looking somebody in their eyes, telling them through my heart and through my soul that they're going to be okay when they have experienced every worst traumatic experience from a baby until now, and I'm convincing them that they got it in them to turn that all around. And I'm not going to swallow that same medicine. I'm not going to convince myself of those things. So it's a double-edged sword, right? For me, sometimes I feel like woe is me. Sometimes I want to cry or be pitied. Sometimes I want to just give up, but I don't have that option. I don't have that option. I have a beautiful family. I have talents, skills, and experiences beyond anybody I know. Anybody. I know all kinds of people, celebrities, multimillionaires, successful people, chill people, homeless people. Nobody do it like me. Nobody, right? So when do I take that into consideration for my own life, for my own experience? You know when? Now. Now I take that in consideration. Now I'm gonna make that pop off, right? I'm the same dude that went from 480 pounds to 190 pounds. Sheer willpower. That's me. I'm that guy, right? So now that's what I'm gonna do. And every day I'm gonna document another step. And every day I'm gonna communicate again. I'm talking to me when I'm talking to you, right? I want people to see what's inside of them through the example of what's inside of me. My journey is mine. My journey is tailor-made to me. Don't do anything I do, because then you're going to be doing it wrong. You do everything you do, right? And like, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what I'm supposed to do in life, right? That's a part where gurus and people like, oh, just do what you do best and you'll succeed in life. But what if you don't know what that is, right? What if you're so all over the place that you don't know where to focus? What if you don't know how to focus, right? That's where I'm at. But do you know what I do know how to do? Take the first step. And do you know what comes after the first step? The second step. And you know what comes after the second step? The third step. Just keep moving forward. Don't stop moving forward. Keep moving forward. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to share it with you. And I'm going to be consistent at this thing. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the few things that I've known from my past to have success. I'm hitting the gym again, right? I'm staying consistent. I'm being artistic again. I'm doing all the things that I love to do, not to monetize, not for anything else, but to get back to me. So here we go, guys. This is my journey, and this is my channel. Thank you for tuning in. I super appreciate your time. Let's go.